Science is Give them to me.
Van Hosen 13.
Okay. Sounds like we got it on
All
one.
right. Whatever.
For a change. Thought that this
Yeah,
being out of sync is going to be an issue.
That's not how I do this podcast. I just put like all of my audio in one block and then all of your audio in block. I get twice the time that way.
Listen to two wankers talk to themselves one by one.
It's really when we have like 2-hour podcasts, it's good so people can get to like half an hour and be like, I wonder what Damien's going to say to this, and then just like 30 seconds of you replying that they cannot hear. That's the beauty of it. No one thought about doing that.
Piece together your own. It's a little editing package onto yourselves.
There was one point ages and ages ago, I think before we even went from the Herder Mager show to to San Hosen, where I was going to put like a bingo card up, like a San Hosen bingo card, but every entry in the square just says bullshit. But as ever, I just couldn't be bothered.
Of course, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
why make it?
I mean, how long would that actually take me? I could probably like whip that up in like, I don't know, like if I was doing like a Photoshop speed run.
No, I was thinking Excel. You know,
Excel paint. There's not a single straight line in the entire document.
And you have those little different fillers in each square. One's checkered, one has those little spirals.
Sell
Very
it for
nice.
£5,000.
Yeah,
Move
call
along.
it Ringo Starr.
Yeah, that's the name of the title, Ringo Starr.
Bingo Star. There you go.
Yeah, and all it is like what, like five blocks across, and then like a block up and a block down. That's a star. It's a star shape.
Mm-hmm. Nothing even vaguely reminiscent of anything a bingo card at all, or even the rules. You know, it's just a few random blobs here, and people are just supposed to like hit it every now and again whenever they say.
Well, that is bingo, though, isn't it? A few random blobs.
We're not talking about the people that play bingo, but okay.
Yeah, I can't believe that is still a thing. Do people still like travel to? Is it just an English thing? I should ask. Bingo, like in England, there are like huge warehouses just for people to play
like
bingo.
Aircraft hangars as well. They corral thousands of seniors in. Get them all.
I mean,
in one place.
literally, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, what's that? Oh, it's a Mecha Bingo. Didn't that used to be IKEA? It did until they added onto it for the Mecha Bingo. We need to get 3,000 like 50 to 60-year-old women. It's a very specific demographic.
We can't run the program until we have a full house. It doesn't work otherwise.
Like these people have been sat there for days. Because there's still like 3 or 4 seats empty.
The stillness and the hostility in the room is palpable.
Yeah, apparently they do take it quite seriously, don't they?
I've absolutely no fucking idea. I guess there's money involved. My late grandmother used to do that, like every Friday, all that kind of stuff. She would, if she had a nice win, she kind of spread the wealth. I get, a $5, and I'd be like, oh, well done, thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, all the bingo I've seen, not that I've seen a lot of it, it's really drawn out as well. Like, oh, look, 2 fuzzy ducks, 22. Oh, what's next? What's next? What's next? It's like watching Deal or No Deal. I'd much prefer it if it was just like 8, 17, 59, 4. There, that's that round over. You ready for round 2?
It's less than a 10-minute engagement. It's
Same with the National Lottery when they'd have like half an hour and it'd be like, here's a juggler and here's Philip Schofield talking some absolute shit he knows nothing about. And now, we're going to do the lottery. Oh, and it's some dude who you've never heard of who looks like he's walked out of, what's he walked out of, Damien? A beef Wellington.
Okay. I was going to say big-ass kind of paper drum, but no, beef Wellington's good.
He's walked out of a big-ass paper drum. Vernon Kay, who's been living in his paper drum, comes out after meticulously doing his Lego hair And then it doesn't even start then. Then you've got to say something like, oh, by the way, good luck, everybody. Everybody in Wolverhampton, my heart is with you tonight. Everybody in Halton, not Halton in the south, Halton near Bolton, good luck. And then just, ooh, 8. And then like 15 seconds of nothing.
Now time for the
6.
intermission, guys. We're going to play for you now.
I remember
I was on the screen because we've got Dizzy Rascal, Bonkers. You're going to love it.
But it's the whole rendition of Bonkers every time a ball comes out. 7, that's Bonkers! Oh my god, 7's Bonkers! But I remember as well,
fucking mental. It's a disco.
They'd give like statistics on the lottery, where it would be like 6, that ball's only appeared twice in the last 6 months. and that's like the only statistic you can have on these things. Like 52, that's appeared 3 times in the last year. I mean,
all these numbers are uncommon. They're uncommon every week.
So yeah, do you play bingo at all?
Well, of course I do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I like the extreme bingo where nothing is drawn from
where the winner gets to live.
tombola. No, it's you've just got the MC on stage and they fire the bingo balls at him through a Nerf rifle, but they've kind of decked it out so it's automatic. He can only announce things that he catches with his mouth.
Right. So the MC's launching them and then trying to catch them. So he's like launching them up into the air into a massive arc and then.
No, there's like a raffle beforehand, and like one lucky ticket holder. Yeah, they'll pick like 5 lucky ticket holders before the game, and for each round, they call you. They've selected a winner to fire the rifle for that round. And I've never gotten picked. It's the only reason I participate, really, because I like the idea of firing a ranged weapon at this gibbering lunatic.
What's the difference between bingo and a tombola? Or is a tombola just the bingo operating machine?
It's the bingo apparatus, but you could also use it for raffles. All right, it's a versatile piece of kit.
I mean, surely with raffles you just need a bucket, and you just put all the raffle tickets in a bucket and just give it a. I mean, it's the same with bingo, really, isn't it?
You wouldn't really use a bucket for that. All right, there are much better uses
use a
of
trash
buckets. Now, if you would like to elaborate on the various uses of a bucket, well, you've come to the right place.
I've accidentally shit in your bingo bucket. I knew I shouldn't have kept all my buckets next to each other. Like, you've got your breakfast bucket, your breakfast poo bucket, your animal feed bucket, the clothes bucket. That's how I get dressed. Just put my hand into the clothes hamper and pull something out. I'll wear that.
Many a dark day in lockdown when the laundry bucket was next to the flush bucket. Yes, indeed.
So the tombola is just the tumbler, basically.
Yes, yeah, from what I understand.
Yeah, I wonder what the etymology of that word is. Is it like flutterby, which used to be the name of butterflies, and sort of makes more sense?
I mean,
Is it like, oh yeah, it comes from the 17th century German tumbler.
Well, I think you've kind of got it on nail on the head. But actually, I was gonna waste time googling that. Then I realised it would poison my fucking browsing history even more so. Not only am I a ridiculous
Etymology
pervert,
of tombola.
yes, not only am I a horrible pervert, but I'm also a really naff fucking Burke.
Damien, if you've got the computer in front of you right now, tell me, is there a genre of pornography for bingo? Bingo porn.
Okay, well, let's find out.
Yeah.
Bingo
I suppose
porn.
That's just going to lead to a gambling site, isn't it?
Yep. Hang on. Well, so far, no. Just porn comes up. Hang on. I'll just put in bingo porn.
What did you put in before?
Porn with bingo.
Porn with bingo. Yeah, the pornographic bingo card would be pretty samey, wouldn't it?
Well, you do. All right. Well, it comes up with loads of bingo cards for things you would see in porn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or people.
Like brand new trainers.
Come on, there's gonna be something. No.
Cool cat.
All right, there's nothing. Morning presentation being. No, all right, these aren't actually that funny. There's nothing specific.
That should be the subtitle of Sans Hosen.
Well, I was hoping things like, "Do you see a blue waffle? Is there an Alabama hot pocket? Bring on the dirty
A blue
Sanchez."
waffle? How many times have you seen a blue waffle?
Only once, and you only need to say that. That's always the center. It's always the center card. You're never going to get bingo through the middle.
Well, I don't have anything else to say about bingo. So, see you all next week.
Right.
I was going to say, Damien, that, I had a right week. I walked into a pub and someone shouted, "Hey up, Baldy." Christina went mental, went over to him and hit him in the face with closed fists.
Sorry, say that again, buddy. I missed that.
Christina went over and hit him in the face, close-fisted. At least it wasn't a bitch slap like a pissant.
All right, well, what happened next?
Do you even know what I'm talking about?
What?
I'm talking about Will Smith.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. All right, okay, yeah, no, I've got you now. Well, I was kind of hoping that was true, but there you go. Well,
I'm not bald. I'm blonde.
I just have flesh-coloured hair.
Flesh-coloured hair, yeah. Well, all right then. I guess we've got nothing to say about that. Good.
Oh, no, well, I mean, other than that Will Smith's a cunt, his wife a cunt, and his kids a cunt.
And then Daddy does the picture.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've heard a couple of people that were kind of like trying to be on Will Smith's side as well, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Really? It's such an innocuous fucking comment, really. But
yeah,
it's everything that's well, I guess for a lot of people who's considered quite a relaxed and kind of affable person, he's kind of played his hands, really. That he's megalomaniacal fucking narcissist. It's not.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of apparent before all of this.
Oh, I know. I heard people saying that shit. Fanboys for him, what have you. It's like, no, really. I guess that's still kind of flying the flag. I imagine there's going to be like a resurgence in happy slapping after this incident. Really, I think a lot of people really fucking enjoyed it. It's like, I don't know. Well, fair play to Chris Rock because he, carried on like a fucking professional. But
he did. In fact, that's that's what I'm disappointed in Chris Rock in. Not that he should have stood there and be like, "Well, I'm not continuing until security come and get that piece of shit out of here."
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I know you don't, have a much of an opinion of the Academy anyway, but it does represent like the
yes, it does
the more powerful entities in Hollywood, and Will Smith said that basically stood up and said, "I'm above all this. I'm going to do what the fuck I like." Really, it was for the sake of what a fairly innocuous joke. So I would say, arguably, poor taste is an alopecia joke at the expense of his wife, but I've heard worse. To be perfectly honest,
I mean, it wasn't an alopecia joke; it was a ball joke.
No, but it's alluding to that, and it's not alluding to that, but it's obviously very sore point.
Before she had alopecia, she often shaved her head.
But that's
G.I. Jane wasn't bald. G.I. Jane had a shaved head.
Yeah, it was a buzz cut. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's.
I mean, if it was me, I'd be like, "All right, Will. All right, George Dawes. What are the scores?"
Yeah. That's eyebrows. What the fuck are you complaining about?
Yeah. I hope next time it's just not Chris Rock. It's just Dwayne the Rock Johnson, just systematically going down the room, going, "You're fat. You're fat. You're way too thin. You're fucking ugly. You're up your own arse."
I'd like to think that he just posts up at Will Smith's table and just lets rip, and it really goes him
like an enormous like pro wrestler fart.
Yeah.
Been eating fast food for the last few days, on top of a lot of oat milk, It's
Oh,
yeah,
there's some real
it's something
protein
else.
farts. You know, you
Yeah.
can see them on camera.
Yeah. Like, technically, it isn't a fart, it's just vaporized shit.
Oh,
He's got like underpants on that have like a propeller on the back, a bit like one of those hats
those little
with
beanies,
the propeller
yeah.
on top. Yeah, and then that just does the job of like making sure that
All right, so it's
the
like a hit and
diarrhea
run.
is aerosolized.
Yeah, like somewhat like a hit and run. So he goes up, you know, really marks these people, and immediately airlifts himself out of the auditorium, not to be seen again for the rest of the show. Peace out, bitches.
Like through the roof.
Everyone's talking about how 2022 was the year that Will Smith punched Chris Rock at the Oscars. They talk about 2023 when Dwayne The Rock Johnson shits on Will Smith and flies. Learns to fly.
The first person to master like completely human-powered flight.
So it's an even more devastating trend than 2022's spate of happy slaps.
Yeah, you got interviews with his personal trainer saying, "Yeah, when Dwayne came to us, I told him men can't do Kegel exercises, but he wouldn't have it." And now here we are.
When you see him next year, he's just got this massively engorged like waist and groin. He's let
He has to
everything
walk
else
everywhere like a crab.
slip. All the muscle mass is gone. There's loads of loose skin, but just that fucking pelvic region, boom! It's bulging. It's nothing but beefcake, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, like he has to like get an operation to put on either side of his pelvis, like sort of like pneumatic springs that can move his pelvis back, you know, wider and opposite to wider, whatever that word
Thinner.
be. Thinner. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, you know, I don't have anything particular to say. By the time people are listening to this, it's going to be weeks after it happened.
Yeah, it'll be very
just-
much old hat, but it's
Yeah.
worth mentioning. I don't think it will. There'll ever be a bad moment to say that Will Smith is a fucking prick.
Yeah, you know, it's funny as well because I didn't even know the Oscars were happening.
No, I thought they typically occurred in January. So
January, early February, I thought. Yeah, I mean, whatever.
So I was kind of I was a little bit shocked to see it so late in March, but I guess it's one of those many COVID fucking delays, I suppose.
It's funny as well that after this, Will Smith had a, you know, I wouldn't say bizarre. I mean, probably expectedly masturbatory acceptance speech because he won Best Actor. And I have seen I don't think I've seen Reddit in particular focus on one particular subject so quickly. I mean, the focus on the day after it happened was like razor sharp. Like every subreddit I saw had something to say about this or a meme to post. And all of that, I've seen so much stuff. I couldn't tell you what the film was that he won for. Was it Gemini Man? That'd be funny. Probably not. That probably came out 2 years ago. I don't fucking know.
Well, maybe they have new rules about it. But no, it's that fucking King Richard thing. I'm sure
yeah.
very soppy biopic about not just the Williams sisters but their father. It wasn't, and he went on rambling about how it was kind of like method acting because he also like really seems to pressure his fucking kids all the fucking time. And he's kind of crazy for it. If he said it in a more affectionate way than that, but that's the fucking subtext. It's like, yeah, I didn't let them be kids.
Really?
They had to
Okay.
be talented.
Yeah, like when Bruno Ganz, like, how did you prepare for your role as Hitler in Downfall, Bruno Ganz? Well, I started a whole new populist movement in Germany for the last few years. This is actually my bunker.
I'd like to see Will Smith back at the Oscars making the same speech when he plays Michael Jackson's father in a biopic as well. You know, because that seems
So
more
Will
what
Smith
it's
thinks
like.
he thinks that method acting is I have something in common with the person I'm portraying.
I mean, I haven't heard the speech, but this is what I heard. The more egregious things that he was saying. But yeah, I mean that's what I got from it as well. It's like, okay, so what a surprise! His speech is incredibly like narcissistic and self-indulgent. Okay, cool. What a
Yeah,
fucking shocker!
yeah. I mean, the supposed topic of this podcast. I hate the word podcast, Damien. Can we talk about that
Let's call
before
it
I
a
get into the topic?
radiogram,
Yes, a non-visual pictorial.
a non-movie, mostly
Yeah,
talkie,
it's not a
a
movie.
bad talkie.
The topic's meant to be odd couples we'd like to see, even though I'm sure we've done that at least once before. Odd couple, trapped in a house, elevator, coffin together, whatever. Will Smith and Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, I'm sure if we popped Ricky Gervais in the mouth, he would have never let that fucking go. It would have been half an hour of that material, like a dog with a fucking bone. So what the fuck are you doing, you silly man?
Also, I bet Ricky Gervais could have him. Did Muhammad Ali slap people? What the fuck?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, and have you actually seen the clip as well? Because both people were
Oh yes.
dubious about it was kind of staged. It's such an odd fucking. It looks like a stunt slap to me. And there always has to be like something at the Oscars these days. So I don't know. Part of me was kind of thinking it was a publicity move, like very much staged. But I don't know. If the tell apparently, which could easily just as easily be staged, was that he shouted out, "Don't mention the name of my wife out of your fucking mouth" or something on live TV. You know, before
Keep
Watershed.
my
Wife's name out of your fucking mouth. That was it.
Yeah.
And apparently that was because that was the tell that he used a naughty word live on air.
He said it twice as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chris Rock was like, "Well, the joke's done. I wasn't going to make more than one joke about your irrelevant wife." Yeah, I mean, as well. Chris Rock said, "I'm being nice," and if you look into it, yes, he is.
Could have been a lot worse.
But well, I'll keep your mouth's wife out of your mouth. What? I'll keep your wife's name out of my mouth, but
If only her name.
do you care what goes into her
Boom.
mouth? If only her name. It ends up with Chris Rock like carving them up and eating them. Yeah. Well,
Immediately brandishing
good.
a chainsaw from underneath his blazer. Very expertly outfitted because no one could tell, of course.
It's one of those new folding chainsaws.
Ooh, that or some kind of like TARDIS type blazer. It's incredible. It's got like 8 pockets and everything. It's for this. It's for the stylish outdoor man.
Yeah, it takes Chris Rock like a good 3 minutes to screw all these things together. People are just watching, like, what? What's he doing? And then at the bit, like Robert Duvall comes in. He's like 90 and he's like shaking because he's holding like this massive jerry can full of petrol. Gets on the stage, starts pouring it into the chainsaw. Petrol's going everywhere. But Will Smith's just sat there like nodding, smiling. I don't need to cuss to sell records.
He does now, so fuck him. Fuck you too.
Oh yeah, what a sausage.
Exactly Chris Rock's last words to him before he carved them up and turned them into delicious verse platters.
Ring ding 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 ding. Yeah.
All right, so he tears off his like $1 million blazer, right? The $1 million FUD, we'll call it, right? The outdoorsman thing. And underneath he's got lederhosen because he's going to go German. It's going to be a German feast, right?
Yeah, he's slapping the inside of his knees, before and after this happens and everything. Yeah, Will Smith just turns around and like everyone in the audience is wearing lederhosen, white
and like
shirts.
purge masks.
Yeah. Yes. Like suddenly looks and realizes like those cameras aren't plugged in.
This isn't the airport Hilton. Oh wait, it
Ring
is.
ding 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 ding. Yeah, I mean, it's funny as well, I suppose, that this is going to be remembered when it's well, who fucking cares really? But people are comparing it as opposed to the Kanye West thing where he got on stage at whatever, the Grammys, Emmys, some shit, and said the award should have gone to Beyonce. Like, this is going to be around forever, right? This is going to be around until Will Smith dies.
Oh, I would hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess by the time this comes out, the Academy will have made their decision whether or not to strip him of his Oscar. Really.
Oh, I don't think they gave him an Oscar.
Sorry.
I thought it was a statue of Jada.
It's like the first Oscar in the history of the Academy Awards. It's just the likeness of Will Smith. All right, so we can't obviously give him an award anymore, but he won't know the difference. He'll love it more this way, I'm sure. If you peel off the foil, it's chocolate on the inside.
Yes. I'd prefer that. That'd be orange chocolate as well. It's really thick as well, so you've got to smack it on your knee.
They've just taken it out of the fridge. They want it to be hard work. Brittle.
Well, no, like Will
his
Smith,
ego.
looking. Will Smith's really happy, and he's looking, and then he compares his Oscar to somebody else who won an Oscar, whoever that could be, and suddenly realizes that his Oscar is a little bit squatter than everybody else's.
Yeah.
Takes a look, and it's Carlton.
And it has a little button on the side. When you press it, it does the dance.
It's
Why
fully
is plastic?
articulated.
Why has it got a wind-up key on the back?
It's like one of those fish in that when you push the button, it starts, and it's funny for like 2 seconds, but it does the entire song.
All right, now I have to kind of hide this under a pillow for a little while. If it doesn't cut out after 90 seconds, it's just going in the trash. Thank you for ruining Christmas, Mum.
When you buy them and you take them home in your bag, you're on the bus on the way home, everyone keeps looking at you because it's just constant muffled. With you like, fucking God, it's not even got batteries in it anymore.
Did you get grease in the button or something? Why is it still doing this? It's jammed in. It won't come out. Then why did you leave the store?
It's a cheap piece of shit, but inside it has a massive industrial capacitor, which I can't. There's no way for me to drain it unless I keep pressing this button.
It caused such an explosive burst of battery acid that I'm just not prepared to risk my flesh. So I just have to let it run its course. And since I upset everyone in the store, they implored they made an imposition that I have to take this thing with me. So I'm sorry. But no one on the bus is making you do the same thing. Just lob out the fucking window. I can't. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Well, I had one as a kid. It was a little gorilla that kept singing, feeling hot, hot, hot. And I'm then to make everyone in the family hate me with that fucking thing. One day it just wasn't in the house anymore. I couldn't figure out why.
That's really funny. Oh dear.
It really broke my 8-year-old heart.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of if my family ever did that, decided a toy was too annoying and threw it away. I can't think of that, but I remember a friend of ours like spending a whole £10 on a Mr. T keyring that basically went, I put in a pool, and other Mr. T phrases when you press the button. It had 4 phrases. I don't like milk. Stuff like that.
Gibber.
Or just the
That's
muffled
only
sound
half of one.
The muffled
Is it
sound of
faulty?
Hannibal going, T, sure thing, Hannibal. Famous phrases like that.
What, presumably confiscated when he kept using it in church.
Yes.
And so saith the Lord, quit your jibber jabber.
And then 3 magi came, I don't like flying. Can you stop that, please?
Hold on. Fuck off.
The best Mr. T quote I ever saw was not Mr. T, the character, it was Mr. T, the person, talking about when Nancy Reagan sat on his knee. It was some sort of documentary, probably like I Love the 80s or some vapid crap like that. And Mr. T is either a very excitable person or had a little tipple, and he was like pounding on his chair arms, like grinning as he said it, and going, "We should decline, we should decline, we should decline." And so yeah, Nancy Reagan sitting on your knee. Yeah, I suppose you did show the Klan. Agree.
And why didn't they merchandise that? I ask you. That's a travesty.
Yeah, and then all you'd have to articulate is his arms, like, just at his elbows going, and then Nancy Reagan's legs kicking, because she knows what's coming and she wants it.
Woof.
Yeah, a nice civil dinner with the A-Team, dressed as the A-Team in the White House. And Ronald Reagan keeps asking them about the Contras. They're like, we don't know, we're actors.
Mr. T, for fuck's sake.
I'm Mr. T, this is how I talk when I'm not on screen.
Completely different man without the cameras around. A lot shorter than you might think.
Actually, his original name was meant to be Monsieur F. And they decided it was too sophisticated.
I don't know, Monsieur. All right, it's Monsieur.
Is it Monsieur or Monsieur?
Monsieur.
Is there a difference?
I have no idea, but this is Monsieur F. It will make these kind of insistences. So if you're going to greet him and his entourage, you must get this stuff straight. Okay, you won't make the cut in that press packet. Jesus, back of the line. If Miss is an unmarried woman and Mrs. is a married woman, then shouldn't it be Mr. and Misters? Very good point.
It's not a point.
It's not a point. No, it isn't. It's filler.
Yeah. I don't think it's filler. I think that's the highlight.
That's what we're merchandising from this episode. Because there's a T-shirt for every episode if the people listening didn't know. We don't sell them, we just make them.
Fire them out of T-shirt cannons and then people unroll them and it's like, 7. Bingo.
My granny is a man.
Entertain me, sir. Yes. So, I'm moving in a couple of days, Damien, and one of the reasons I'm moving is because where I live has mice. And it was pretty bad. It's always been pretty bad as long as I've lived here. But it's got to the point where yesterday or the day before, I saw a mouse coming out of the oven, the stovetop.
Right. So what, like the open mouth of the oven, or was just kind of right?
You know, on the top, the hob.
Yeah.
The hob. It's electric, so there's I don't know what you call it, like a plate.
Yeah.
Under that, coming up through that in the middle of the day, 3 p.m. And so now I've got to the point where I've got like mixing bowls over the hobs, so I can't use my fucking oven. So I think I'm going to be a naughty boy, and my my lease is up at the end of April, but I'm actually moving on the 1st.
Right.
And I think I'm going to tell them I'm not going to pay that month.
Yeah. Cut them
break
off.
it. Well, I don't know. I'd probably get sued. I know there is stuff. I know there is stuff in the law, in Indiana law, about, especially with rodents, if you've given them fair warning and they haven't done anything about it, you can break your lease with impunity. But as we all know, there's a difference between what's written in the law and what actually happens.
Mm-hmm.
But I might try my luck with it. Because I'm pretty fucking annoyed. Like, I can't use my oven now.
Yeah.
I'm either going to let mice out or cook mice.
Yeah. Well, even if they've vacated the premises, it's going to be festooned with mice piss. So everything's is going to smell and taste of ammonia and be fucking dangerous to eat.
Yeah, I like that word as well. Sort of like, this seems to be. What would you call this? Would you call this? Would you call this tainted? I mean, it's not quite doused yet. Yeah. Or festooned. Yeah, vinegary.
Waxy.
Waxy. Yeah, so that's my position. So I'm recording this literally 2 days before I move out, and I don't think I've ever wanted to move out of any place more.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're lousy with vermin, it's a very good reason to move on. But
yeah,
you obviously have a very colourful neighbourhood as well, as it turns out.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely declined since I got here.
Yeah, you haven't met
Don't know
any
what
new
the
butt
causality
cheeks
is,
in the alleyway yet.
No, I mean, there weren't any butt cheeks anyway. They were all facing the apartment.
Oh, okay.
You know, just saw a bit of fupa and some knees.
Fupa. Revolting.
It's a natural, normal part. That wasn't the offensive part. It was like a woman's pissing in the alleyway, and I lean out and go like, "Oi, fat!"
It's that she was using a shiwi. It's like only men can stand up.
No, if she was using a shiwi, that would have been way better. But no.
You've disturbed the natural order. I am now less of a man.
Tell us about the shiwi, Damien. I know what that is, but go on, tell me. Where have you come across that?
I've seen
Did
them
you
in
ever? Did you have a girlfriend who used the shiwi?
No, this is not a first-hand experience at all. It's just a baffling product that I was made aware of the last time I went to a festival, which is better part of 10 years ago. But yeah, for everyone else that didn't want to trudge all the way up to the Portaloos with grounds that were obviously not soaked by any of the elements in the air, it was the mud was lousy with piss, so naturally people did not want to risk kind of crawling through that. So for a lot of blokes, easy, just find a tree, or don't, just stand there and go wherever the fuck you like. Women want
in
the
your
same
own
freedoms.
shoes.
Yeah. So they've designed what is essentially a paper cone cut in half for women to stand and piss through.
Oh, it's paper, so it's disposable.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, here I was thinking it was a piece of plastic that you were expected to wash.
No. It's a terrible, terrible design because halfway through the using, it obviously loses its rigidity. And
So then you're just pissing on your own hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, is there a device that would make it so that I have to sit down to piss?
I believe they call it a toilet.
A what?
A toilet? A toilet? One of the... You have to activate them with a bucket. Are you familiar with these devices?
But that doesn't make you sit down.
Oh, something that forces you onto the toilet, like a bracket from a roller coaster or something like that. Until you and it's secured by weight as well. So unless you've had a bowel movement of sufficient mass, it's not going to release you. So for some people can go in thinking like, oh, I'll just clear, empty myself out. But it's only like a half movement. They're locked in for 6 hours until they can push the rest of their dinner through.
Yeah, or otherwise just lose some weight. Like if they've got somewhere to be, maybe they need to like gnaw off a finger and spit it out. But don't swallow it because you're not losing anything there. Think about it.
Oh, it's not just a bracket, right? They will also like engineer it into a either very narrow cubicle or built walls at the side. So there's no wriggle room left or right. So you can't kind of jimmy yourself out the side. No, you're locked in. Absolutely.
Yeah, so you've really got to make sure that you've got enough weight to lose. Yeah, I don't understand why we've evolved to have different holes that piss and shit come out of. Wouldn't it just be better if piss and shit just came out of your ass?
One universal waste hole.
Yeah.
It sounds.
And then the penis is just purely a sex organ. The vagina is, purely a sex organ / baby thing. Baby. Whatever happens there.
A baby hole.
I'm not a doctor.
Don't you love the taste of piss when you're giving head? My God, man. I refuse to clean before the act. And Lord knows those.
Oh, so you're giving head to yourself?
Of course. I have no love in my life. Fuck's sake, man.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, what? No.
Well, yeah, it sounds ghoulish that we would piss and shit out of one hole, but I guess it's, if you look at it objectively, it's objectively no different than what we currently have going on. It would make more sense if all the business could be taken care of just in one spot. Only one thing to necessarily clean if things go awry.
Yeah, do better, God.
Yes, indeed. Although you might end up just like, diluting your shit, and every movement is like a hangover diarrhea shit. And I don't know, I could do without having the shits every day. I can handle it maybe a couple of times a month. But...
Oh, as if you care. You work in a restaurant, you must have them every day.
I just drag it through the kitchen, it's fine. It still doesn't get me
It's
sent
like
home.
you've got a huge goiter on your ass. And that's your shit sack.
Well, after my accident, I have that colostomy bag, and they still don't say a word about that. I even like start puncturing it. You know, when someone keeps talking at me, I just take a pencil and see if I can drive them away with the smell. And sometimes the noise.
Puncturing your own colostomy bag like a crazy person.
Start squeezing it. Whee! Get a mouthful of this.
Didn't you used to work with somebody who had a colostomy bag? Or a shunt or something?
Yes, yeah. Oh. The man with a
I'm
million.
just, you know, you don't have to name and shame. Just wondering, like, how's that allowed in a kitchen?
Well, I do think he was at the helm of that restaurant at the time. They needed someone at the top, and he just had a lot of medical problems. He was the man with a million kidneys,
And also no kidneys.
Yeah, yeah. As soon as they'd attach another one, they'd immediately dry up like fucking prunes in the you know.
Did he have a kidney transplant?
Yeah, he'd had like 2 of them.
What? I didn't know you could get 2 of them. I thought if you fucked the first one, that was it. It's like your opportunity's gone. Unless it's not your fault, I don't know.
Well, I don't know quite how it works, but when I assume when they transplant kidneys, they take the old defective ones out. No, they don't. They just keep attaching more organs to you. So
Just
I don't know.
slamming kidneys inside of you.
Yeah, I don't know what the limit is. You know, is it a dozen? Who knows? I mean, I kind of feel like by this time it's been a few years. He might be up to double digits now.
Or be dead.
Well, I imagine the shunt was for like one of those infected kidneys. So I mean, by now he must be more shunt than man. He must look like he's like a cat with like 8 nipples. You know. He takes off his shirt.
Yeah, I mean, haven't they got to the point where they can grow kidneys in your body, or grow like a new kidney off an old kidney? Or something.
Yeah.
I mean, surely that's experimental still, but that seems like a good idea.
It's a good idea, but you know what they don't account for is a patient
Hardcore drinking.
Yeah, basically, and I'm pretty sure a lot of men do as well. And yeah, he most of those days may have been behind him, but he was still partial to quite a bit of drink. It's the most, Monday to Friday's like, no, I couldn't possibly. And then he'd just have a long weekend and he'd come in looking like a fucking ghost. And so, have you learned nothing? I said, well, I don't do it 5 days a week. He said, like, you can't like cram it all into 2 days though.
I don't do it 5 days a week, yeah, but you do it like you do
48 hours solid.
Yeah, I mean, this is the top chef that Damien used to work for, who had been on TV and had, at one point, a career ahead of him that was quite bright, who, correct me if I'm wrong, Damien, said one day, I can't come in, I'm really sick, and then immediately posted photos on his Facebook account of him getting pissed at the pub.
Yep, yeah. Oh, no, I don't think it was that. At the pub, I think he had like a private box at Wembley. He was there for like a football match or something like that. Yeah,
with a newspaper in
rumbled.
front of him, so you could tell it was that day, with his watch on, showing it.
Yeah, this was at Liverpool Street, and before that, I worked with him in Mayfair, and he played the sick card for months and months and months. No one had seen him. We would like, had he been fired or anything like that? But then he would like turn up for a couple of hours every other week or something like that. And then after a while, it's like, yeah, no, we're not going to be seeing him ever again. It's like, well, what's happened? It's like, well, they found out the whole time he was on sick leave. He was simply working in another restaurant.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Wow.
just wanted 2 paychecks. I don't know, at that place, they paid
And he was
quite
actually
handsomely.
working there.
Yeah, I mean, he had like a 6-figure salary because at that point he still had his name was worth something, and he still had enough exposure on TV. When I started working there, they had like they would have TV crews in all the time where you just like do little bits for, I don't know, I seem to remember it was like something for the Channel 4 news or like Good Morning something or other on GMTV or some bullshit. Yeah, so he had clout, so they paid quite handsomely for him. I just apparently wanted another paycheck on top of that. So how much do you fucking need, you piece of shit?
Fucking Worrell Thompson. Speaking of which, I don't think I mentioned this last time, but I meant to, as is our way of doing these things. I was going through all of Curb, Your Enthusiasm, the other day. Well, weeks ago now. I was enjoying it, and then I was probably watching something else on YouTube, and I got an ad for cryptocurrency. I think it was just a generic ad, like, hey, cryptocurrency. Not a particular coin or anything, just, hey.
Whee.
Guess who it was? Larry David.
Oh, really? Oh, no.
Yes.
Uh,
Like, don't you have enough money, Larry?
yeah.
I don't know. I was a bit disappointed.
Yeah, did you continue watching Curb after that, or did you have to kind of put
No.
it down for a little bit? Yeah.
I had to put it down. I'll go back to it. But I was thinking as well, again, I meant to mention this to you, but in that show, I am Larry David and you are Richard Lewis.
Oh, yeah? Explain.
Oh, I thought you thought that would get a laugh or something. You know why.
What, because you're bald and I've got fluffy hair?
You've got fluffy hair, and also you're always dating inappropriate ladies who are in their 20s.
Happened once, all right? I took my toe,
whereas,
that's it.
You know, I have a happy marriage with a long-suffering wife. The American dream.
Oh, well, thank you
Yeah.
very much for that. Wiping my face in that.
Yeah, whereas, and you have a drinking problem and I'm completely sober.
We talked about, I've joined the clergy. I don't touch the stuff.
Oh yeah, because the clergy don't touch stuff. Fucking
I got a
priests,
touch
notoriously
I got
sober.
taste for, dating people of inappropriate ages, so I naturally had to become a clergyman.
Well, here's an absolutely useless fact, which I love telling people, so they can go, God, get away from me, you're boring as fuck. I saw a beaver while I was here once, and
No, you
it was
didn't.
very interesting. I did. Bullshit! And I was walking along, and obviously I was on like a raised footpath and looked down and saw this beaver. This beaver was like, it was massive. I didn't know they were that big. It was huge. And it was looking around, and then it looked up suddenly like it felt like it was being watched and looked at me. And I have never seen an animal more readably scowl than that beaver. And
Well, what were
it
you
sort of
doing?
scurried off. I was just watching it. And it sort of walked, it didn't scurry off, it walked off like, ugh. And then it got about 20 meters, stopped, dead in its tracks, and looked behind its old shoulder at me. And I swear, if it could have spat, it would have.
Yeah. Did it roll its eyes?
Couldn't see that far.
Yeah.
Tiny little beaver eyes.
I don't know. I feel like there's a very crucial detail missing here. And I'm sure it's that the only thing you were wearing was an open dressing gown.
No, that isn't my inane boring fact. My inane boring fact is I saw this and I wondered why beavers aren't in England anymore, because they used to be, and I found out it's because back in the day of monasteries and such, before Henry VIII got rid of them all, the monks would not eat any meat on Fridays.
Okay.
But they loved meat, and they liked fish, but not as much as meat. So they decided that beavers were a fish and hunted them to extinction.
Fucking hell.
Touches water, it's a fish.
So what about ducks?
Oh yeah, they were definitely eating ducks. But you want a beaver, you want that nice beavery meat, don't you? Gamey. Not a lot of meat on a duck.
No, but it's pretty tasty. Especially
Damn
the
you,
feet.
catfile!
Well, fascinating if true. If true.
Another bizarre odd couple for you: Cadfile and Ja Rule.
What was the name of the actor who played Cadfile? I can't remember.
Was it Derek Jacobi?
There we go. Yeah, I've got a very clear image of him in my head. I just can place the name.
Oh! Yes, that's it. Yeah,
Okay.
do you have any odd couple things, Damien? Odd Couple. That's the name of the show, Odd Couple.
I didn't.
Walter Matthau and your mum.
Walter Matthau and anybody, because he's such a miserable fuck. sour-faced bitch.
Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon. My God, it writes itself.
But they're not in an apartment, you see.
No, it's a remake of Pirates.
It's Cabin in the Woods. It's Evil Dead now.
Yeah. Walter Matthau as the tree.
And Jack Lemmon as that very unfortunate girl.
Well, you mean Bruce Campbell?
You could totally see his like hangdog face on a tree, couldn't you?
Raping a beautiful Jack Lemmon.
Who inexplicably has a chainsaw in his arm for some reason.
Oh, right, yeah, because Jack Lemmon's Bruce. Bruce Campbell.
But someone has to get fucked by this tree. All right, we're not skipping over that.
The film can't end until someone gets fucked by the tree.
But we opened with it. Well, we can't have it be fucking 2 minutes long, okay? So we're going to have it pre and post intermission, because this is going to be a 4-hour slog, by the way, so buckle up.
Yeah. Yeah, the first 2 hours is just Bruce Campbell and Jack Lemmon driving slowly up to the cabin and like making gooey eyes at each other.
Then like
Jack Lemmon's got like loads of lipstick on, like he's up for it.
Walter Matthau takes one step outside, takes his shoes off, and immediately begins taking
Wait, Walter
roots.
Matthau's the tree. So is the tree living in the house, and that's the problem?
No, he's not
like
a tree when
these humans come along and he's not a tree.
He's not a tree when the movie starts. It's only when his feet come in contact with the soil, all right? There's toxic waste or some shit. Immediately takes root, and it feels way too good, all right? You can see
it's
it on
like
his
a
face.
combination of Fallout 3 Harold bit and Little Otik. Yeah, go on. So his skin becomes bark, or he just becomes rooted to the ground?
Well, as it opens, just rooted to the ground. But you see, like you got the toxic waste. You can see it kind of surging through his veins now. It's feeling good. He's biting his bottom lip. He's now super horny. Jack Lemmon is sufficiently frightened.
That's what happens.
He hides inside the cabin, of course, but tries to take refuge. But we don't see it because there's kind of special effects. Would be expensive, so we're going to apply it with a lot of that. There's some eruptive growth of Walter Matthau. Obviously, a lot of cabin shaking. You can see a lot of the branches waving crazily in the wind or what have you. We can have them break a window every now and again. And eventually what we will spring for kind of some vines, and that's what's going to drag him out of the cabin, right onto the porch, where one final massive branch-like schlong slaps itself down onto the patio, and these vines just rag Jack Lemmon onto it.
Right. And then,
like
then
a
what
fucking
happens?
chew toy. It's just a barbaric rape scene for 20 minutes, There's like no usable meat left on Jack Lemmon. Oh, it's an execution.
It's all done in one shot, like irreversible. It's really arty.
But no fire extinguishers, so there's no hope of breaking free.
Okay. Yeah, I like it.
Oh,
so
of
how
course,
would you have it? Yeah.
Okay, so we have that, but let's not forget, that's like the first one, right? We said there was going to be at least 3 or 4, and I want like a roll call at the end where it's just going to be like highlights from the movie. Of course, there's only 2 cast members, so it's going to be a lot of flashing back to a lot of uncomfortable scenes. Like you haven't had enough.
Yeah, like the red carpet premiere. They're talking to the people. They're talking to the director, and the director's like, "Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm very proud of my work. It was a privilege to work with Jack Lemmon and everything. I just hope there's enough rape in it. Like I'm always second guessing myself when it comes to that. I just hope we gave the audience what they wanted." And just the shot of the audience watching this is just everyone's like frozen to their chair. Like it is horrific and unending.
No one mentions anything that using the likeness of both Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau posthumously was in bad taste, of course. But that someone was commented that the deepfake technology was quite impressive because you really believe.
Wait, is Bruce Campbell dead?
Bruce Campbell isn't dead, no. But
oh right,
Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau are, aren't they?
Oh, Walter Matthau can't die. He just changed his name to Rappaport. For the
He's like
remake,
Darkman.
then
He's just taken off his face and he's someone else. Hey,
someone
Bruce Campbell.
else, yeah, there's two Bruce Campbells. Yeah, Walter Matt. So okay, so for the Evil Dead 2, well, we got to go woke, so we should replace the tree with Queen Latifah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear your. Please do elaborate. I need more.
I just think that the world is ready for a proud black woman to rape someone, to rape Jack Lemmon.
As a tree.
As a tree. Yeah. We've finally got there, people. Come on, it's 2022.
Well, it's not really a proud black woman, is it? She's playing a tree, so it's a tree doing the business. The world's not ready for that, but she can play a tree. It's fine. Gloss over it a little bit.
All right, okay, I see what you're saying. So you're saying that it would be better if Walter Matthau continued to be the tree, but we wrote it
Just
so that
Queen
it's a
Latifah comes
proud
in with a fucking
tree
with a strap on. They double team. They do a bit of an Eiffel Tower, both Walter Matthau and Queen Latifah.
What's that? What's an Eiffel Tower?
It's when you spit roast someone, then you high five.
Oh, I see. It's a bit of a squat Eiffel Tower, though.
Yeah, but you understand where it's coming from. That's your problem with this? It's a little bit squat? That's like, it's not really an Eiffel Tower. It's more of like a pyramid at a crazy golf.
Why not say it's an A? Why not Tokyo Tower? Why not Blackpool Tower?
Because that's more of a solo thing, I think. A Blackpool Tower is just a man standing up having a wank.
Also, Damien, check your privilege. It's when you're spit roasting someone. It's when you're being spit roasted.
Oh, I
and the two people spit roasting you give each other a high five, and one of them says to the other, "Well done, son."
Oh God Almighty! Oh, I'm gonna need a little bit of a lie down now, but I'm gonna leave the lights on.
In case Daddy comes home.
Oh, well, damn. Oh, I'm going to be talking.
Yeah, I remember
feel like
once
my
your
therapist
dad...
is going to be hearing a lot about this. The seed has definitely fucking been sown now.
Didn't we have a whole bit about your dad having sex with you? Or did we just not record that? Was that just a chat we had?
Yeah, well, I don't know what that was. Please, I've clearly repressed it with good reason.
As long as it's safe, you're not hurting anyone.
Oh my God. I guess objectively, yes, that could be said, but maybe not psychologically safe.
Oh, definitely not psychologically safe, no. We're well past that. I came across an interesting thing the other day as well, just before we go back to Evil Dead 2.
Let's never do that ever again. We've done.
No, we're coming back because we've got to get to Evil Dead 3 where things actually happen. Correct me if I'm wrong, is Evil Dead 2 basically Evil Dead 1?
Yes.
It's the same story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen them. I came across a weird thing the other day about Freud and, all of his ideas about the Oedipal complex and a lot of social psychological problems coming from people wanting to fuck their own moms.
Right.
But not being able to because that's unacceptable. He didn't have a lot of contact with his mother at all.
Oh, I see.
He was nursed. Was he wet nursed? I don't know if he was wet nursed, but he was basically looked after by at least one nanny for most of his childhood, like well into his teens. He didn't really, have much to do with his mom.
Okay.
And, now they can more accurately than his theory say, when a kid is around a parent, and they grow up around a parent, same with a sibling, you develop an instinct that they are completely sexually not not just not interesting, but bleh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to the point as well, where you don't actually have to be siblings or blood-related parents. It's the same with adopted parents,
Right.
or just like if you know if you lived with a friend or just with a random kid and you grew up with them, you would have those same feelings where you're just not into each other.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was interesting because like the implication is that Freud never developed that because he didn't have any exposure to his kids, to his parents.
Mm-hmm.
So he wanted to fuck his mum. And he thought that was normal. He didn't realize that other people didn't want that.
Well, yeah. I mean, the where I thought this was going was that, well, because there might have been an element of bitterness as a, well, obviously he, I guess.
Well,
it
like
was
he was, oh, why is my mum so hot?
Well, no, I thought when you were talking about witnessing stuff like that, I thought it was going in the direction that he'd been forsaken by his mother or something like that, and he didn't actually have any contact for a long, long time.
Well, I mean, at the time, though, you know, he was from a wealthy family, and that was pretty normal. It wasn't like, oh, my parents couldn't be bothered with me. That was like the standard way of raising your kids if you were rich.
So, yeah, but yeah, perhaps it was, you know, he was stricken with guilt about these feelings, and then he just decided that he would poison all the psychiatry with this notion of that it came by normalizing it, saying that
I don't think it was. I don't think it was like that. I think he genuinely thought that it was a common feeling. Like, look, let me sit down. I'm going to tell you why you want to fuck your mum. It's not your fault. Like, what?
I mean, she
Where's
is
this
hot.
coming from? Tell me
Well,
more,
you have to
Damien.
agree to keep it in your pants, all right? There's a time and a place,
Oh.
and it's called the crib.
Good God.
Yes, indeed.
Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, okay, yeah, moving on swiftly.
Maybe we should just go to Evil Dead 3 if it's just basically the same thing again.
Okay, so so what do we have in Evil Dead 3? What can molest Jack Lemmon in Evil Dead 3?
All of medieval Europe, I think.
Because the people have spoken. They know what they want in the next Evil Dead installment.
Yeah, the people liked my movie, but they didn't think there was enough rape.
So now, buckle up. We've got a 3-hour epic on our hands.
Yeah, they just rename the film to Rape.
Hundreds of extras. It's going to be a bukkake this time. How many loads can Jack Lemmon swallow?
It's like Banzai, where it's like it's interrupted every so often, but like, how many loads can Jack Lemmon swallow in the next 30 seconds? Bearing in mind he has just broken his knee. How many loads? Start betting now. Betting over. Oh, he didn't swallow any. He was running down a corridor or something. Whatever.
But they've kept the bowl, and they're chasing him. They're in hot pursuit.
There's a man with a whisk.
They're going to snap his head back like a Pez and pour it down him.
Some filth.
Well, we can see there are a few contaminants in the bowl, so we brought a colander to strain those out. We don't want him eating any flies, because that would be disgusting.
Some people say that they call you Levine the Machine.
Well, he can't run fast enough or far enough, it seems. Like I say, hundreds of extras. They're always going to outflank him.
Like he's
Just
got like
matter of
$100
time.
bill stapled to his forehead.
Like the
You know,
first
and they know
45
the
minutes
rules.
is like the head start that they've given him, you know? It's just him running through the woods.
So it's just Manhunt the film, basically.
But with a lot of facial rape.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was any rape in Manhunt, was there? Which is clearly what it was lacking. And, you know, coherent gameplay. I mean, I don't know, you played them.
No, I wasn't allowed to. It was too explicit. It was too...
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I never played those games. No.
Parenting,
But not because.
huh?
No, well, it wasn't anything to do with parenting. It's just, that was what PS2, right? I bought a few titles when I first got it at Christmas, and then after that, I was too cheap to buy anything ever again. And that's been like the story. Every time I buy a console, I'll get a couple of games upon release, and then I will never shill the 60 quid or whatever it is for anything new ever again.
Right. I mean, have you ever thought about getting second-hand games or anything?
Well,
I mean, you could probably get PS2 games pretty cheap now. Although saying that, I bet if I look it up, I bet they're all over 100 quid because enough time has passed.
no, I've never had a
Quid.
burning desire to play it. I knew everything I needed to from what I'd seen. So okay, cool, but that's fine. Did you play it?
At some point, I did play it, and I didn't get very far into it because it was pretty boring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, once you're sort of like over the, oh no, these people, ooh, it's mental. It's, it's just like a, again, I didn't get really far into it, so maybe I'm wrong, but it just seemed like a stealth game, mostly.
Oh, well, they're not really
Yeah.
kind of the thing that I'm into anyway, so just as well.
I think they've
I'm
got
all
a
about-
Saw video game. Like, how would that work? Do you think that's just quick time events?
Oh yeah, I imagine that's exactly what that's going to be.
Yeah.
You won't see any, during all the. I guess you get a few juicy kills and what have you. That's what they've spent most of their time animating, but the rest of it will be like, well, just flash up buttons on the screen. It's like, we can't trust you to learn how to play a game, so we're going to tell you at every step.
I mean, we're assuming here, but I think you might be right. Whatever.
Oh,
Yes.
well, those are the things in games now. I believe. I don't know.
I
I'm old now,
believe.
I steer clear of them now. I'm too evolved to partake in such nonsense. I like to keep
Skyrim
the
on
time.
Switch is good enough for you.
Fucking grass me up, you bastard.
Well, what else do you play? Dr. Mario?
Yeah, I've got like the 3D Ultra Tetris. That's the only thing I play now.
3D?
3D. No, it just
Wow.
means it has 3D graphics. It doesn't do anything else.
Yes, so any other Evil Dead 3 things, or shall I tell you some more of my odd couple ideas?
I'd like to hear your odd couple ideas, please.
Larry David accidentally clones himself, and about 32 minutes into the movie, quite early on, they forget which one is the clone.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
He'd get into all sorts of trouble, wouldn't he? Yeah.
Or just
Content.
realize how insufferable he is. He goes on this deep personal journey where he learns to better himself. Makes for a really crappy 11th season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, where he's a Zen Buddhist master.
11th and 12th.
All right, so he's got cloning. Why does he stop at simply one though? Well, I mean, if he's going to clone himself at all, he can easily get carried away. If it turned out so perfect that they would like lose track of which one was actually real. That's
So it's like Larry David gets hold of some sort of cloner where he can just walk in and then two of him walk out.
Yeah.
Because he's too busy. Oh, I've got to do the new season of Curb. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. I've got to mow the lawn. All this. So it just ends up with him having loads of Larrys.
So I'm thinking of like the Being John Malkovich poster, but it's all Larry David's.
And like maybe something could happen where like he goes in, comes out. Okay, that's great. But then it turns out that the machine just makes a new Larry David every day. Like there's no way to shut it off or anything. And he comes out with all his memories and everything. So all of them think that they're the original Larry David. Larry David can't even remember. Am I the original Larry David? I mean, I remember going in to the cloning machine, and I remember coming out. But I wouldn't I? Because one of us did.
By all accounts, it's a perfect copy, and philosophically, it's a
Perfect copy.
mindfuck.
Come out in the exact same clothes and everything.
But it's
And-
been
yeah,
cloning
and then-
for years. So at this point, it opens with a Larry David stepping out, but he's been greeted by Larry David, 30 years his senior. He's like, I'm about to guide you on a very special journey. It must be you that ends this nonsense. All the world is Larry David, and only you. I'm running out of time to remedy this problem.
It's like 15,000 years into the future then.
So it's just Larry David's head in a jar, you know.
There are 600,000 Larry Davids. Is that right? What's 15 times 365? 15,000 times 365.
I mean, I'm not that smart. I'm not even
You've got
smart
a
to begin with.
calculator.
Hang on. Where is it? So 15,000 times 365, you said, huh?
Yep. Okay. 5,475,000. Okay, and then okay, well, they're not all going to be alive because it's 15,000 years in the future, so how many would have died? Oh, fuck. Yeah, well, how long will he live? 80? But then he's born, I mean, he's like 60-something now, so they don't live very long. I mean, like, they've only got a short lifespan, really.
Or that, due to the miraculous technology, they come out like perfectly like replenished on a like cellular level, so they have like they can expect a typical human lifespan from the moment they step out of the machine.
So he steps out as like a young 60-year-old.
Yes,
and then like the Larry elders
expect to
are like
live
150 years
140.
old. Yeah. Okay.
Unless
so we're talking.
They don't come out, sterile. They are, perfectly free to procreate as well. They completely contaminate the gene pool beyond utter repair. It's all incestuous now. Like everyone, if you like you do your ancestry thing, you do your DNA test to see your genetic markers, and it's like everyone is at least 80% Larry David now.
So you end up
no
with
one
this,
knows what. No one knows what
Yeah,
a human being with hair looks like anymore. At least not the top of their head.
So you end up with this like really tiered society where it's like, my ancestors came across on the original Larry David. Like, well, you may say that, but if you work it out, you've not had a Larry David, and your great-great-grandparent was a Larry David. My dad was a Larry David. I'm more pure Larry David than you.
Oh, you could, yeah.
Like, are you a pure Larry David, or are you a, 16th
I'm a
Larry
direct
David?
descendant.
I'm direct descendant of Larry David 47. 47! One of the first.
And when you say they came over on the HMS Larry David, these Larry Davids are very resourceful. Yeah. So when these bodies pile up, they don't let them go to waste. So we're talking about a flesh boat here.
Yeah.
Giant, like really stretched out face across the front of the bubble.
That's just one Larry David face.
And a Larry David like maidenhead as well.
And a Larry David sail for whenever the fuel runs out and the wind's
when we can't burn any more Larry Davids for combustion.
So it gets to the point where you've got this really weird tier society where you've got pure Larry Davids who are sort of in charge, and then like half breed Larry Davids, like people who are just slightly, which would be Larry David has mated with any woman, and therefore the offspring can only claim to be a half breed Larry David, because it's not a exact copy of a Larry David, and then presumably you also have on the other end. Women who are in no way related to Larry David, of which there are only a few, being held in high regard. They are good breeding stock. There must also be quite a lot of like incest Larry Davids.
Yeah.
Like people with
There's
like
an
webbed
island in
hands
the
and
South
stuff.
Pacific that's just called the Farm now. So every now and again we need to kind of try and clean up the gene pool a little bit. We'll
And
get
then,
some
of course,
like
this
stealth
leads to the Larry
half-breeds
David
out there.
Wars.
Like holy crusades. So we're after you, Larry David, to kind of to be the one true Larry David. Lead us into a golden age.
A Larry David in shining armor riding a particularly muscly Larry David. Into battle against the infidel Larry Davids.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like some kind of like 7-foot gym bunny Larry David, and there's a little guy on top.
And like when we're saying that they're all perfect copies of the first time Larry David went in there, Does that mean that, like, in 15,000 years, all the Larry Davids that are still coming out of this cloning machine still think it's 2019 or something, whenever this has happened?
Yes, but
They're
they're
all,
very
okay.
they're very
They're
they're very
adaptable.
quickly sent off to like a sort of
Larry
correction
David Education
facility.
School.
Yeah. They're all going through on conveyor belts, you know. Sort of parallax view.
Yeah, okay. I
It's
like
very
that.
tedious because modern history after 2019 is just Larry David's and everything's just pretty good.
Larry David leads the human race into world peace. Turns out the answer was only have one type of anything.
And that something should be Larry David.
Yeah. I mean, how many generations do you have to go through before incest isn't a thing? You know, it's not a thing to worry about. I mean, not like...
Well, I don't know.
I mean, obviously, if your dad's going to have sex with you, Damien, that's nobody's business.
At least I'd be very surprised if I got pregnant, so I don't have to worry about any kind of freak babies.
It would be he who got pregnant with you.
Oh my God! Turns out I'm
Damien,
my
I'm
own
having a
father
baby, Damien.
from the future.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to, you know, if you go back enough, we're all related, right? So,
You try and make the argument that if you get your dick wet at all, it's incest. Oh my God,
I
that's
mean-
exactly what it is.
well, yeah.
Not for nothing, but that's going to be so hard right now.
I mean,
Yeah, let that one sit for a bit. Because Lord knows I can't stand up right now.
did you know, in fact, that they think that at some point in the not too distant past, I mean, still tens of thousands of years ago, something happened. I think it was before human beings left Africa, even sub-Saharan Africa. But at some point, the human population was reduced from possibly tens of thousands to only about a few hundred.
Oh yeah.
Because of perhaps a disease or something else. Yeah. Yeah, because if you look at a troop of, I think chimpanzees, it might be any ape or monkey. If you look at a troop of chimpanzees, they are more genetically varied than the entire human race.
Oh really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So maybe people were really clever thousands and thousands of years ago, and we're just all the inbred offspring.
Well, it would account for a lot of.
It would.
Yeah, for the world around us, I think. Yeah. Maybe that's why we're susceptible to so many cancers. I don't know.
Oh, I think
I mean,
that's
Brenda
more
was-
to do with industrialization, isn't it?
I have no idea. I remember my granddad was telling me something that, well, he never did any fact checking, but he was talking about genetic markers in dogs and stuff like that. And so there's a reason, you know, they have enough in their DNA that leads them susceptible to very, very little. And human beings have like so many genetic flaws. That's why we seem to be susceptible to so much. It's like, okay, why are you telling me this one? And where are you reading this?
What's this hospital you're taking me to?
Hello, friendly man.
He shakes his head. Nope, not friendly. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Right. Okay. I didn't know that.
Well, I don't know that either. There's nothing that corroborated that at all. It's just something that I was once told.
Right.
But it's like, okay, well, that sounds really great, but, you know, they only live like 15 years, so we do kind of have a bit of a leg up on them. I think we're coming out, you know, stronger on that one.
Yeah, and they're crap at driving.
Absolutely, they are. No thumbs, of course. And the reason
Yeah.
we've got thumbs is because, you know, our hands got cancer
Driving.
one day. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so successful,
Yeah.
we kept them, you know?
If you went back far enough, you know, you're going to have a common ancestor with whoever you fuck. So, like, you wouldn't want to have sex with someone who has the same granddad as you.
No.
But what if it's like great 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 granddad? You'd never know, probably.
No. Yeah. Do people even have records for things like that? But there's enough genetic diversity for
The rich do.
Oh. Well, I most definitely don't. I don't know where I originated that far back.
Saying that, though, I do remember reading about a case. There are a number of these cases, frighteningly, of, you know exactly what I'm going to say when I say the first thing, someone who worked at a sperm bank.
Oh.
Fill that in, he said. Someone who worked at a sperm bank decided that they would like to get hundreds of women pregnant, and did. With their own sperm rather than a sperm donor. And the one, I mean, this has happened in many places. I think the one that I read about was in Germany, and someone who's the son of this person was saying, yeah, it makes it kind of difficult because, like, on Tinder and stuff, I have to say, by the way, this guy isn't your dad, is he?
Oh, really?
Because, like, there's so many of them, and they're all, like, kind of in the same age bracket-ish. Yeah.
And you do hear a lot. Gossip Rose do pick up on stories of people that do online dating that end up hooking up with their like brother and sister and stuff like that. It does happen.
Statistically, you fucked your own brother twice. Two different brothers
per year.
Per year. Yeah. Over your lifetime, 8 will crawl into your mouth without you knowing, and while you're asleep, and you'll eat them.
With a little bit of luck, they won't take a photo while they rest everything on your lips.
Yeah, apparently that statistic on spiders is bullshit.
Yeah, I had the same thing as well, but it's enough to make sure, stop you from like sleeping for a week.
Yeah, I suppose so. With your mouth open, at least.
Because that statistic is bullshit, because the real number is much higher.
8 a night.
Yeah, I practically have a hive inside me.
Yeah, they don't die. You don't chew them, you just...
No, I've been eating bees.
Okay, well, anything else to say about the Larry David kingdom?
I can't
Maybe
remember
it can be defeated by a big Andre the Giant, but it's Andre the Giant as if he was in Total Recall, and Danny DeVito is his stomach tumor.
I thought those, I was thinking more along the lines of Pacific Rim, but we've got this giant mech and it's just T-Bone.
Yeah, I mean, how would you stop the Larry? I mean, I guess, some sort of genetic marker programmed virus. Larry die.
Yeah, but that doesn't make for good television. We need something a lot more brutal than that. We need something. I want to see a large vehicle, Mad Max style, with
with Jeff at the helm. He's been unfrozen, and his mission is to kill all the Larry Davids off.
How they knew that he would be useful, we do not know. We didn't even know that the technology for cryogenic freezing was even viable at that time, but they made it happen. It was their only shot.
Yeah, well, I mean, the technology for cryo-freezing people has been around for a long time. It's just whether that means anything. Yeah, I mean, there was that whole rumor about Walt Disney getting his brain or his head frozen. Apparently that's not true.
Oh, it's not true.
Well, apparently, I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe they were like, no, it's not true. I wonder if we could dig him up.
Yeah. Somewhere in the Disney vaults, you'll find his head next to L. Ron Hubbard's.
Would you do that? Would you cryogenically freeze yourself? And if so, would you want to be woken as soon as they can, or would it be like, keep me frozen until my bank account runs out paying for this?
If I know it works, then yeah, sure. Well, I don't know actually. What would be? I have no idea what might be going on in.
Yeah,
I'll
you
give
might
it
be
a
like,
test
oh,
run.
this is cold for 1,000 years.
I was going to give it a test run
Brr.
5 years, you know, it's something that I can wake up to that I can still kind of recognize, you know. I don't think 5 years would be too much of a jump. And if I know it works confidently, I know that, annihilation isn't, quite looming quite so much. Yeah, no, I'll settle down for like a good 100 years, something beyond my life expectancy. That'd be quite
So
nice.
if you get through 5 years and it wasn't like, oh my god, it was like a waking nightmare, it was so boring, then you do 100 years.
Oh god, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, no, I'd have to surely find some way of making sure I wasn't conscious the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
don't
like
think I'd
locked-in
recover from that.
syndrome.
Yeah. Ooh,
Yeah,
no,
or at
fuck
least if
that.
you were conscious, maybe they could give you, pour some beer down your gullet. But if you're just a
You
brain,
fucking animal.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that would interest me. Sometimes I'd rather be dead.
Okay. Well, maybe they fuck it up.
Well,
Maybe it's
Yeah.
just a slow
Oh, so
death.
every cloud is what you're saying. If I get preserved against my will, like maybe there'll be a power failure and I'll die. I'll thaw out.
Well, the prerequisite for me being frozen is that you have to do it as well, And I really browbeat you into doing it.
And
But
you
come
die
on.
like way before I do, so I have to be frozen alive.
But they don't take any care. It's just like a smeg fridge, So what's this going to achieve? I like that it says smeg on it because I'm a child.
You get yeah, go on.
Oh, sorry, I was clearing my throat.
You get thawed out, and then they're like, "Yeah, well, this is the future, but you're still 85.
You aged the entire time,
Now you're just a brain in a jar."
Well, you could. I'd like to think in that amount of time that robotics would have come along, so you could still be mobile. They'd be able to kind of provide some sensory input. Still have arguably a life as a brain in a jar powering robot. That'd be fucking tits. I'd love that.
What, to be a brain in a jar? But can you do things, or are you just a brain in a jar? Are you
Well,
still
I
just
like to think
trapped
that
inside your
if
own
you
brain?
just like sellotape it to the top of a robot, I control the robot now. I have that, so I have a robot body now. Absolutely, that's exactly what.
And would it be a robot man, or would it be like something? Would it be like a bulldozer?
I mean, I guess it could be interchangeable. Like I change like clothes. I could fancy being a robot dog one day, or just a small like something from Robot Wars on Caterpillar tracks with a little pickaxe.
Like today,
or I
I'm
can
going
be a
to
man.
be Matilda.
I'm going to be a Danny
today I'm
DeVito
gonna be-
robot.
I'm going to be one of the house spots. I'm going to be Danny DeVito robot. So it's just like Danny DeVito there with his brain scooped out, and then they stick your brain still in the jar on like right into the cavity on his head.
Yeah, but
and
all
you're
the
like, oh
skeletons
god, it's so painful.
every step is a new
Every step is a new
nightmare.
nightmare. Yeah.
I'd roll the dice on being a Danny DeVito robot. Absolutely. You wouldn't?
I think I'd rather have my brain digitized if I was going to do that. And then, if necessary, I could wipe myself if things got really dull. But then it would also be easier to, like today I'm going to be a bomb disposal robot. Today I'm going to be a vending machine so a beautiful woman touches me. Presses my buttons.
Yeah, okay. I like that idea as well.
Yeah. But all it is Mountain Dew, so there's no beautiful people touching that.
Oh, it's just cream soda. Of course, cream has to come out. I'm a dirty, dirty vending machine.
Someone comes along who I don't like the look of, I only roll D3 halfway. So they have to start banging on the window to get it down, and then they get ejected from the swimming pool.
Then you just start saying, touch me, touch me, touch me.
More. You could do all sorts of things. You could be a lawnmower for a bit and kill someone, and they'd never suspect the lawnmower, would they?
No one ever suspects the lawnmower. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, more Odd Couple things. The Lawnmower Man and Stephen Hawking. Damien and I are doing this podcast at gunpoint, you should know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always uncomfortable, you know.
Yeah, for us as well.
And for people pointing the weapons at us as well, they're getting tired of this shit. Why they've asked for this in particular, we do not know. We're hoping that we
No
can
one
kind
asks
of
for
grab
this.
them under, you know. If they do this for long enough, they might just give up and say, fine, go eat a burger. You're off the hook. I'm still waiting on that. It's been a long time since I've had a proper meal. They simply
People
feed us
who've listened
mulch.
to this don't expect anything from us.
No. Which is good, because I have nothing to give.
No.
Any great import.
No. Well, before we go, anything to get off your chest? Damien? Any
No, I'd like to
toilet
say there's no...
stories?
Any what, sorry? Toilet stories, alas, no. It's actually been a toilet-free fortnight since we've done this.
A toilet
very
glut?
No toilet glut, toilet abstinence. I'm very heavy
Yes.
at the moment. I'm always at a state of touching cloth. It's very difficult to manage.
You could become a Japanese toilet and give people happy poo-poo time.
I give people happy people poo time anyway.
Happy poo-poo. I give people happy poo-poo.
With my stories. Because everyone's gone away.
You don't. It's not a B-day or anything. You just regale them with nonsense as they shit.
Yeah, I just sat
Do
on
you
the
know
toilet
why
next to
beavers
them.
don't exist in Scotland anymore?
Back in my day, we'd have to flush the toilet with a bucket. With my corncob pipe. Which was the style at the time.
It's got your corncob pipe on the wall in a frame, and it's got a very weird bend in it. That's to go around the U-bend.
It's a U-bend, yeah. Oh, it's just a discarded
yeah.
U-bend to begin with. It's like a bong now.
Yeah, well, good. I guess. Are we done?
Yeah. Okay. How long are we there? Is it?
Oh, who cares? Are we
Okay.
there? I mean, yeah, well, I mean, yeah, go on then, keep talking.
Fair enough. You call my bluff. Yeah. Okay. I suppose we're done.
More Odd Couple stuff then. All right, we'll do more of it. Fucking my nan and Jamie Foxx.
Why would that be so odd?
I just don't think they'd have a lot in common.
Like, there's a really genuine answer.
Yeah.
I mean, they're perfectly polite people. I'm sure they'd like make small talk for a little bit. They might be able to sit.
Yeah,
through
the
a little
kitchen
bit
would
of
be
tea,
well
some
kept
tea
and everything.
sandwich,
Yeah.
couple of finger sandwiches, that kind of stuff. But you know, it's going to dry up after like 90 minutes. But you know,
Yeah.
well, what can you expect, really? But
Yeah, like
they didn't
Donald Trump
realise
and the
yet.
Joan of Arc. Again, just not a lot in common. Well, we usually end with an apology, so...
Okay, well
Sorry.
then, yeah, sorry.